All right, Joe Strube here, Bikeman Performance. We're doing a Tech Tuesday and an instructional video on how to install our floating belt deflection adjuster for it'd be the 12 to 2015 Arctic Cat snowmobile. So first step is we'll pull this stock one off. And not only is this a video on how to install this, but it's also going to be a video on how to set up your belt deflection. So we'll get into that at the end of the video. So we'll take this off, and then this just kind of O-ringed in there. So this is what we're pulling off. We're going to save that right here because we're going to reuse some of the pieces. Now, I'll get that. So there we go. There we go. So we're going to first spin this piece onto here. Save this right here. Now, on this piece here, you'll see a black O-ring. So we're going to pop that off. Then we have a black washer. We're going to take that off of the original piece as well, because we reused both of these pieces. Just got to work that off of there. Now, black washer goes onto the turn collar, snaps into place. And then we take the O-ring, we go on here, and the O-ring goes up into this little collar here. So we smear that around with our fingers so we can see right there. See, there's the O-ring, there's the black washer. It takes a little bit to stretch that O-ring on there, but that holds this black collar from falling into the clutching when you're running. If you don't use this O-ring, what you'll find is that this black washer will fall out in there and it won't fully downshift. So we're going to take this now with the bolt that came with it, drop the bolt in, put it in here. Let's go back one thing here. So we're not taking this one off. This one's already been greased up. But you want to take your secondary clutch off and smear some grease on them splines so your secondary can slide in and out real easy like this one does. So take that. This is a 6mm Allen socket. We'll use to tighten this up. And I will use a torque wrench, which I have right here. There. So then we'll torque this baby on to 20 foot-pounds. And then from here we can spin this in. Counterclockwise tightens it. So before we do that, we want to make sure that we're fully downshifted. So we'll roll this baby over. You take the track and spin it, and it'll so you do it while you're on a stand. So if this collar's loose and you spin the track over, this belt's going to rise. Now, we want to make sure we have the right amount of deflection here. So we're going to tighten this up to it until we see the sheave moving in a little bit. And when we see the sheave moving in, we'll notice that we get more deflection here. So you want like 1 inch to 1.5 inches of deflection. So from set point to down, right there. If we have not enough deflection, it's going to squeal and squeak when we're trying to idle when we come to a stop. If we have too much, it'll be down in this secondary too far. It'll be like we're starting in second gear. So we want to make sure we're starting in the lowest gear possible and we have the right amount of deflection. If you're a racer, this is very important because it makes you get everything you can right out of the hole. But once that's in place and we have the right amount of deflection here, which is about 1 inch, so Then we'll tighten this up. And there's just like a little set screw on the collar. We can rotate this to an easier spot to get to. So then you tighten up this jam nut here, or jam bolt. Make sure that that's good and tight. And that is how you use our belt deflection adjuster. Now when this belt slides in, when we say it's a floating secondary at that point, so when it starts upshifting, this helix will slide in. When this helix slides in, all of a sudden now this can self-center on that shaft. So there you go. Check out all our products at bikemanperformance.com.